What's going on, guys? So in the last video we talked about the hierarchy of calls, the level of aggression a bull and cows can get, and in this video I kind of wanted to explain roughly on how to make those sounds, and so you have a better idea on how to do that, so you're not just like, how the heck does he make that sound, and start searching up videos. You could find it right here. First off, just a little tip, I would choose an area where your sound's not being trapped. Before we get too far into today's video, I just wanted to show you guys the calls I'm using. After years of trying different latexes and brands, my dad came up with his own call, and I could do anything from cow calls, light cow calls, to a loud lip ball. They are awesome. If you guys want to check them out, you can use code WILDBORN10 to support what I do and try them out. BackboneUnlimited.com. Or there's no room for the sound to carry. It'll sound the most realistic, obviously, in the mountains. If you can't do that, just make sure you do it outside. I know it sucks if you live in town or something like that, but don't do it in your vehicle, don't do it in your house. It'll really discourage you when you're doing it. You won't get those octaves, it won't carry the sound, it won't sound right. And so, I mean, I love to do it around a small lake where there's a big bowl of trees that just makes that sound echo. I just really love it. Makes it sound really realistic, and it sounds awesome. But that's what I'd say if you wanted to practice your calling. I'd highly recommend at least getting outside of your four walls, or hopping out of your vehicle, or shooting it out the window, or whatever you want to do and have time for. I would definitely try doing it outside. So the basics of how a diaphragm works is you put it in your mouth like this. Most of them have a aluminum top to it now, and so you put that along the very top of your mouth in the little groove. You just try to position it comfortably, not too far forward, not too far back. You want to kind of go right in the middle. Obviously do what feels good for you. If it feels better putting it forward or a little more back, then do that. Whatever works. Everyone's different, everyone's palates are different, every diaphragm's different, so I'd play around with different diaphragms, see which one you like, and thickness of latex and all that. But you put it in your mouth, and you're gonna find that sweet spot on your tongue where it just sounds the best. It's easy, you can do it every time. Of course, the more you practice, the more it'll just come natural. You pop it in your mouth and it'll be there. You don't even have to think about it. But for the sake of beginners, just really play around with it. Don't do one thing and just try to stick to that thing. I think a lot of people get caught up on seeing what made a little bit of sound, and so they try to play off that rather than really playing with it and messing with it to try to find what's best. And so that's what I would do. But I like, when I'm teaching people to call, I like to think about it like this. So a cow call is your base call, right? You want to start with the cow call. And then a bugle is essentially a elongated cow call. Of course, you add a few things. You add a tube, you put a little more pressure, you have to get the octaves a little better, but it really is the same in terms of what your tongue's doing. You start a little higher on a cow call, so that's a little different. But in terms of the main motion, I like to start with the cow call and then elongate it into a bugle, and then start adding your voice at the beginning and the end. Your little growl to start low, go high, work your way up, and go down. And so first off, get that cow call down, and especially get the high note down. So if you can get the high note down, you can do all of it, right? So really practice the cow call, really practice the high note. Use your mouth as little as possible. Elk don't move their lips at all. Elk don't move their teeth. I'll move my jaw just a tiny bit, but for the most part, you're not wanting to move anything except for your tongue. And all it is air and tongue pressure. And so it's really hard to explain exactly how to do the tongue pressure and how much air to put through. Again, everyone's different, and so you really got to play with it. And so that's why I'm being kind of vague in terms of starting off, but you really want to get the cow call down, and you really want the high octave. And then once you get that, so here's the high octave again. You can really dial in the high point of the cow call and really get used to the cow call. And then once you get the cow call done, I'd practice cow calling first through the bugle. I know everyone just wants to start ripping through it and stuff, but this is really the way to learn and not get discouraged right off the bat. Now, tubes will naturally give you the octaves, and so I don't know if you could tell when I was cow calling through the bugle tube, but you can kind of hear the octaves kind of filter through a little bit because the tube automatically does that. That's the whole point of the tube, is to replicate an elk's, you know, diaphragm and throat to where the octaves go from low to high and whatnot. And so I kind of like to think of it as a stepping stair. There's different steps, different octaves that go from high to low. And so once you got that down, then you could start adding your voice, realism. And so to do that, all it is growling. So obviously the more growl, the more raspy, the more heightened level of aggression, like I talked in my previous video. But it really is just a slight growl to start off the cow call, and then go do your octaves of the cow call, and then end it off with that. So just start practicing that. Remember, we're still just doing cow call through the bugle tube, starting with the growl, since we have the cow call through the bugle tube down. Now we're starting just a little bit of growl. Now obviously the tube will add the octaves, and so you can kind of already get a feel for how it's gonna sound like. You add the growl at the beginning, it goes up into a bugle, and then it kind of goes out and then drops off, and then growl again. And so the next thing I would say after you get that down is to work on the octaves. And you could do this without growling as well, to just make sure you got the stair steps right. I'll even do this to exaggerate sometimes without the bugle tube and with the bugle tube. Just kind of take it through there. Obviously adding the bugle tube will give you a lot more octaves, and it'll be a lot easier to hear that stair step. Okay, and now if you let me do it without the growl. It's hard for me to do it without the growl because I've been doing it for so long, but once you have all that kind of put together, kind of have a good idea, you got the growl, octaves, growl, the next step I would say is the drop off. A lot of people just, you know, release the tongue pressure, kind of drop it off like a cow, or just, you know, just kind of drop it off and release tongue pressure. I like to add realism and to kind of push an extra little thing of air out that last second. So here's what I mean. Listen to that. So we got the growl, the octaves, the growl, and then there'll be the drop off. Kind of listen for that extra push of air and kind of back to that high octave just for the very ending. And so I'll kind of just push that extra air off and really drop it off. And I'm kind of adding more pressure again to create the high pitch that I talked about earlier, and then just dropping it off. And so you're going high, you're going low, and right before it ends off, you're gonna go high and push that extra air out. And you're kind of doing that at the same time as you're growling. And so you could still make a high pitch and growl at the same time to make that ending sound ultra realistic, and you know, you could feel it when a bull makes that sound. You could feel it in his gut. That's what I like to use when I'm locating a bull, is when he drops off. And so to make that sound as realistic as possible, you would use that growl and that extra high push at the end. Just sounds really good. And then the next step would be, you know, your scream, your growl, your panting. And the scream is just a short, slightly more aggressive, and so you're blowing a little bit faster and harder through the tube to get the high octave quicker, and then dropping it off faster. So that's all. So you take the elongated regular bugle and you just do it a lot faster and drop it off a lot quicker. So I still added that last, heightened level. I kind of lost it there at the tip of the bugle, but I still added that even though it was a scream, I still added that last push to make that ending sound ultra realistic. Get used to that. I dropped my diaphragm like 100 times during season or more. Super aggressive, faster, drop it off with that last push of air. And then on top of that would be adding the growl. So another just form of aggression, realism that you would add to the bugle. And again, that's the same thing you're adding to the beginning and the end, that but you're getting high, adding it, dropping it off a little bit. So it's just that middle, it's the very middle section. It's a short period where you add the growl. But it's like the second half to the end is where you add it. Or maybe even past the first quarter, and right before it ends, the third quarter, you end it. And so it just adds that little bit of aggression, the super earthy feel of a bugle. And then the next thing would be grunts. Again, I started the calling out where I did because everything just kind of combines into each other. And so again, it's the same growl that we just did for that. It's the same growl we use for the beginning and the end of the bugle. It's just mainly just the growl, and that you just really kind of elongate it and really focus on the growly part. And on top of the growl, I'm adding the my own voice to it to make it sound really, really earthy. And then the panting is just adding, it's except for you're slightly doing it across latex, so you can kind of hear the call coming through, but not really. It's mainly just, you could do it without the call. A lot of times, I've heard bulls do that a ton. They'll get in within 15 yards through some thick timber. They'd already been thrashing, and again, it's all that same level of aggression, the growling, the grunting, the raking, it's all the panting, it's all kind of that same aggression. So I've had bulls come in, they're raking, and I could hear them breathing and panting at the same time. So it can really be a cool call to add to your, just all add to your arsenal. Again, I have a video up that basically just tells you the 3 calls I use, but I've used all of these, and you could use them to add realism. You got the growl, you got the panting, of course raking is just raking on some brush. I do it with my bugle tube a lot because it's easy, but it sounds more realistic with a stick or an actual antler. I think the only call we didn't really go over is the calf in distress, which is just a cow call, just super short and high pitched. And they will do that constantly, like super fast, multiple. I've heard all sorts of calf in distress. Again, it's not a call I use. I talked that in my last video. It's just not a call I use. I've tried it a lot, and it just hasn't worked the way that it works for other people. That's the calf in distress. A few of those were a bit higher than I would actually go, but you get the idea of it. Is just the higher pitch, short, chirpy kind of in distress call that a little calf would make. And then the only one we haven't really talked about is the bark. Again, I wouldn't use it, and so it's hard to kind of show you guys how to use it when I love the idea of knowing how to make all the sounds, knowing why they do it, knowing how, understanding why they do it. And so I've learned everything just because. How to do it is you start with your growl your higher pitch, and then just immediately do that last drop off, like a regular bugle would have that last drop off of air pushing through, like I've been talking about. And it's kind of, it's the growl, it's the start of the bugle, and it's the drop off, but it's really quick. I mean, it's all combined into one short bark, essentially. And so I am growling, you can hear that. It does start low, it's just really fast, kind of like you would do a chuckle, but it drops off, it pushes air out really quick because it is that urgent bark call, that warning call. And then I guess we didn't talk about chuckling. Chuckling is alongside one of the hardest calls with lip ball, and so chuckling is a lot like just again, it's the same as a cow call. It's just over and over and over. And so, and guys, a lot of times, at least in my opinion, go way too fast. It's not as fast as you think. I like to add breath. I like to breathe. You could hear me go. I like to grunt at the same time. I like to kind of make that sound while I'm doing it. And all those things combined really makes it sound earthy and gritty and realistic. And so slow it down. Start with again, your cow call. You can start with cow call. And some younger bulls do sound like that. But to make it sound ultra realistic, it's basically essentially a ton of mini bugles or cow calls, adding in the raspiness and the breathing. Like, I really try to exaggerate the I even add some of my throat in there to make it sound almost like I'm choking a little bit, but just to add that realism of an elk, you know, because you could hear their throat, their saliva going back and forth when you hear one up close doing that chuckle. And again, it's not the super fast like a lot of people like doing it. It's the elongated breathing. It's the, I mean, and you know, again, that's one of the hardest calls you can make, so don't be too hard on yourself. But there you have it. Start with the cow call, really elongate it, add everything in. It's really just practice. I know it's very vague, but it's really hard to tell you what's happening inside my mouth, essentially. And so I mean, and most of the time you don't need to add that. It's a chuckle is a bull saying, "Ha ha, I have cows," talking to other bulls. So why would you ever want to do that, right? You want to talk to the ladies and everything like that. I'll explain. I kind of break up multiple videos into these, but that's kind of what I got for you guys for this video in terms of teaching you how. Just don't be afraid to play with it. Try different things, try different latexes, brands of calls, and yeah, I hope you get to practicing. Season's coming up quick, and so super excited. You guys can definitely share your success with me, and I would be very happy to celebrate with you and share that. If you guys want to use these calls, again, my dad made them, backboneunlimited.com, code wildborn10 to save a bit of money and support. Sorry about that, guys. My camera overheated, so we're using my phone for a second. But like I said, for the calls, backboneunlimited.com, code wildborn10 to support what I do and try out these calls. I truly do love them and use them for all my calling. I highly recommend checking out my other video just to understand better the calls, what elk are doing and why, and as well as my video on the top 3 elk calls I use. But I'll be making more call videos. Hope this helped, and I'll catch you in the next one.